Right, demo weight.
How much do you freaking love this bike?
4.
So good.
So good. Love.
The end, right.
Oh,
Now we're going to fight over who's going to take it home. Because it is absolutely... We had a small sample size of downhill bikes, so it's we're trying not to compare and like base them all on their own relative merits, but this one I've personally felt, and I think you guys feel the same, felt head and shoulders above the rest.
Yeah, definitely.
And why was that?
Well, I think a mixture between the shorter chain stays and just the way that the front end felt. I felt that the geometry was perfect on this bike.
Right. I would add in 3 letters TTX into that equation. That's the Öhlins rear shock. That is absolutely spot on. I want that shock on everything I own. Mm-hmm. Bikes, cars, motorcycles, everything.
It's a special little shock. It's quite a bit radical. We had to do a bit of research to figure out what it was doing, and it's custom built for the specialized demo. There's a very small adjustment frame in there. You can play around with it, but what did that geometry and the shock actually mean on the trail?
Traction, speed, everything. It's amazing. Like it's a twin tube shock, right? So they've separated the rebound and the compression dampening. That's pretty clever thinking, really, isn't it? They can do their own thing now, and they can both do each thing better than they were before. So I think that their idea was to actually just maintain the better traction on this rear shock. And that is evident immediately when you get on this bike.
Yeah. One thing that I noticed too with the shock and the linkage system was how responsive the bike was. Like I could tell it what to do and it would do it.
Yeah.
Like I could manual, pop it around.
Yeah.
Really playful, super fun.
Super fun.
Yeah.
And you found new lines on this bike, right? That you hadn't on these other bikes. Like this is the thing. It's so maneuverable and ready.
Well, we had a difficult test track, didn't we? It was very marbly, very ball bearing. It felt like your tires were moving the whole time. This is the one bike you could actually start really trying to push the trail a bit more. On the rest, you felt like you were always just trying to keep rubber side down. This one was something else. Like you were able to get onto lines you couldn't previously get to, hit things with speed. I found myself wanting to pedal out of stuff and go brakeless and do other stuff that I couldn't do on other bikes because it just had so much traction.
Yeah. And it just gives you that confidence too. Yeah. You can just charge lines. Yeah.
I think the other thing we all felt, it was the bike, we have a very small test cycle. You're given a few laps on each bike, but this is the bike you could get on immediately. In the first 100 meters, you felt at home.
Felt really good right away.
Very little to play around with, but it was just there.
If you're someone that is potentially new to downhill bikes and you've been on all mountain bikes and you're really, you're a good rider, you'll get on this bike and you'll feel at home immediately. I mean, that's a lot to be said for the bike, right? You'll get on it and just be like, this is it, this feels great. I can ride this bike. This bike isn't riding me. Yeah.
There's a lot of other really smart stuff in the componentry and the kit on this. I really like the small little details. It's the details that really turn me on. But it's things like the spacers underneath the direct mount stem, so you can raise and lower. They've supplied you with them. You don't have to go out and machine them.
Yeah, brilliant.
There was the SRAM narrow wide chainring on the front. Even though it's got a chain guide, they put that extra little thing in. Yeah. They had a 7-speed drive chain on this. Yeah. Which is, they've just gone downhill specific. There were some issues with that. There was some adjustments.
It was a little niggly, wasn't it, right? I mean, the limit screws and then having to have spoke protector on there. But the small details, that was a small issue, right?
Yeah.
Good tires. What are we looking at for price on this bike?
6,600.
Right.
That's an aluminium frame.
Yeah.
But then that's the Boxer World Cup Air. You've got the Öhlins shock, Butcher tires, the whole thing. I don't think there's really anything on that bike you'd need to change,
Wouldn't change
immediately.
Yeah. Nothing.
But then you do think in this day and age of plastic fantastic.
Well, let's think about the carbon now. So we're into 80, so it's almost 2,000 more for the carbon frame.
Yeah. Right. Same spec carbon frame is 8,500.
500.
It's a big difference.
It's a big difference.
Do you think you need it?
No, that bike rode.
No.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do not need it.
I mean, if you can afford it, go for it, but I'd say.
That performance is something else.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, okay, so back up a minute. I can't really say I don't need it until I've actually ridden them back to back. What I'm saying, I love this bike so much the way it was, I didn't feel like I needed to ride anything else.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So we're going to brawl it out. Who's taking this one?
I'm taking it. It's already in my car.
I'm going to urinate on it.
Yeah.
Mark it
I
set.
licked it in funny places.
And fade to black.